Can you explain, for someone who's never played Ingress before, can you explain what it is?
Sure, yeah. So Ingress is it's on Android and iPhone. It's a lot like a capture the flag game or scavenger hunt. And so normally what it is you're capturing these portals, these landmarks, points of interest, these real world objects or works of art in your town. What's different about these events, these Anomaly events today, are that instead of just playing with other players, other agents in Tacoma, you're playing with people from around the Pacific Northwest. We have someone from the Netherlands here. There's a crew from Utah, crew from Minnesota. People flew in from Atlanta, Florida. I mean, literally just all over the U.S., all over the world.
Just met a big gaggle that came from Idaho together.
Yeah,
so.
And they come together in either carpooling, they arrange these flights, they crowdsource their tickets, and it's kind of a burst of activity. So in the next 5 hours today, starting right now, the players are going to be turning all of Tacoma into this citywide capture the flag game.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's such a cool game. How does it differ from other projects that you've worked on up to this point?
So Ingress is actually our second game, our second app. The first one was Field Trip, and in Field Trip, what it is almost like a concierge or walking tour. It tells you these are the interesting things that have happened in your city. These are the different restaurants you should go to. It's kind of like a walking tour. And also for Android and iPhone, that's what came out first. And we recently launched a feature on Ingress that pulls in the data from Field Trip and incorporates that into user-generated missions. So the players can now create their own walking tours, their own mini games using both Field Trip data, these Field Trip cards, and the Ingress portals.
That's so cool. I come to Ingress from, so full disclosure, I've only recently started playing because I have an iPhone. So I'm super excited.
I have an iPhone too. It's refreshing.
I was so left out. So
has this movie now.
Excellent. So I'm so sorry. I'll try to be quick. Curses. I lost it.
It's all good.
Okay, so how much of inspiration on this was drawn from games like, geocaching, the Munsies? How closely are those related? Did you have any kind of feedback from that sort of team?
Yeah, a lot of our players are geocachers, or they were, either using Munsie or geocache.com. And so one of the things that we've done is for this set of anomalies, this Helios series, we've actually incorporated that geocaching aspect to the game. And so right now, literally in the next 7 minutes, the agents or the players will get these clues, and it'll tell them either a lat long or a photo clue, and they'll need to, given that clue, find these packets, and these packets will have information about the high value targets, or the portals or checkpoints in the game that'll be worth the most points today.
Okay.
And so some of these are going to be things like you'll need to climb a tree to get them. You'll need to decipher these codes to figure out how to get to the location. And then we've also incorporated our partners as well. So one of the dead drops or one of these puzzles are going to be left at Zipcar, which is one of our partners.
That's so cool. And that kind of leads right into my next question. Do you have any plans to integrate this? And you may already. I just couldn't find any information on it. Integrate with this like Google Glass, or I know obviously there's a lot of room for Google integration. And so can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of our top feature requests. A lot of the players, I think you've seen them today.
Yeah.
You mentioned they're people walking around with glass. You see the high concentration of that. And one of the things with Ingress today is even though we're bringing people outdoors, when you're looking around, you do see a lot of people who are kind of looking down at their phone. And so if we can bring their eyes up so that they can experience more of their neighborhood, more of their town, either through a wearable like glass or through the watch, or I know Hint or the Moto Hint is coming out, which is an earable. So they want to do everything through audio. So we've been looking at all those trends in the industry and figuring out how to make really great experiences for that new wave of tech.
That is so cool. I love what you guys are doing, because you guys are bringing a community of people that would normally spend this kind of energy online doing an MMO. You're bringing them outside, and I think that's the coolest thing about this sort of activity. How many people would you say are playing today?
So we just released a stat that we've crossed 7 million downloads. We're in 200 countries. The players altogether have walked, I can't remember how many times around the Earth.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Some really impressive number, though.
Yeah, but it was a big milestone for our team. So we're really happy about that 7 million number.
That's awesome. And have you heard any feedback from people like, oh, this has really got me out, this has changed my life? I've seen a lot of huge fan art, like tattoos, and so what's the coolest thing that you guys have seen in your travels?
I mean, I think especially being at these Anomaly events, you see how the game has transformed people's lifestyles. So whether that's through weight loss, through meeting new individuals, through making friends, it's something that touches them in a way that exceeds just a regular video game. It's a way of life for people now. I think a really cool example of that, I was in Gettysburg. This is for another Anomaly we had last year, and one of the girls came up to me and she was like, so it's my birthday in like about a week, and I'm really excited because last year 2 people came to my birthday party, and this year 30 people are coming to my birthday party, and I'm not Ingress agent. So, I mean,
that's adorable.
Yeah, those kinds of stories make you wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to put my whole self into working for Ingress and putting on these anomalies, and I know our whole team is really passionate about it because this game is helping people.
It is. It's really. I got involved with geocaching kind of as a. I didn't really know anybody out here. I moved from Arizona, so I just kind of got me because it's always so soggy here. I don't know where you folks are from. Where are you from?
Me, I'm from Texas.
Yeah. So Arizona's sunny all the time, and here not so much. And so I didn't know what to do, and this got me kind of looking under stuff and around stuff and kind of ignoring the rain. And that's what I see out here today is just a lot of people together, and they're not just talking about Ingress, like you said. They're making connections. That's fantastic. Let's see here.
The idea behind the game is that we would bring together people who share similar interests, and that's something that is not really that difficult to do online. You have sites like Reddit or Twitter that help you connect with someone who is really passionate about Android or passionate about geocaching. But what I think is so special about Niantic is that we're able to connect you with someone who shares a common interest with you, who lives down the street. So many times we hear from players who say that they met their best friend through Ingress, they met their spouse or their boyfriend.
That's
girlfriend.
incredible.
Yeah, we had a Ingress wedding.
No, you did not. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a proposal. He at one of these anomalies, he proposed to his girlfriend, and Ethan helped coordinate that.
Everybody had to hack her. I love it.
We had, because the 2 colors in the game are green and blue, they already had their something blue.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love it. So let's see. Well, that brings me to another good question. What's the most fantastic thing that you've seen people bring to this as far as their own creativity, player influence?
Wow, that's a great question.
Maybe a easier follow-up would be, has it shaped the direction that this game is going to go?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the storyline, it's very open-ended. So we allow the agents, the players, to help direct the direction of the story. So, for example, depending on the outcome of this series, the last 3 months, the story will fork a different way. It's almost, in a way, like a choose-your-own-adventure based on the physical actions or the operations and missions that you do over the last 3 months.
That's a really cool way to explain it. Choose-your-own-adventure.
And basically, the other thing is that we have groups, for example, Operation Essex, which is really helping to advance the storyline. So they'll go into much more detail than we would and try to build out rich backstories or do more research to fill out basically just the history or the lore behind Ingress.
That's fantastic. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add to that.
Well, I was thinking more just player-created artwork and trying to...
Yeah, kind of like you see on the fan art for Blizzard or Riot.
I mean, I've seen some really amazing t-shirts being created, and when I was in Colombia for one of the anomalies we had there, one of the girls had just all sorts of interesting things on her nails.
That's so
she
cool.
did it all herself. So I think, it's kind of like an open-ended art project, if you will, to be able to come to these anomalies to make your own clothes, to make your own makeup, hair pieces. I'm speaking more for the women, but I know the dudes are doing it as well, so it's really cool.
Excellent. And I'll kind of just, I don't have a whole lot more, so thanks for bearing with me. Let's see. I love the direction that you guys went with the graphics and with the and with the audio, because it really is in keeping with, this is kind of a go-go gadget, like, you're in it, you're immersed in it. I really like the direction that went. Do you have any plans to beef up visuals, to do anything to that, to add 3D integration? Is that still in works, or?
The idea is that the game should be relatively straightforward and simple so that the players could build on that. And so the rules for Ingress, I mean, it's really that you're hacking these portals, these checkpoints, you're linking and you're fielding. That's kind of the essence of the game. And I don't think we've wanted to complicate that. Adding more visuals and stuff usually isn't a top feature quest, because the story side, a lot of it, the agents will use their own imagination to build out, what's going on. And because the game is played outside, you end up kind of in your own mind or in your imagination imagining that the person who's across from this checkpoint in the game, you don't know if they're texting or playing Ingress. And you have this idea that like everyone is in on this secret, or this conspiracy theory, this secret agent world. And so, I mean, it's kind of like,
it is very Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's almost like Watch Dogs for real. Where
Yeah.
Instead of playing a man on screen, you are the hero of that game. You are the hero of that story.
Well, and that's what I love about these events, too, is that you've got all these people coming together. I mean, you mentioned working together to really make pivotal decisions to the future of this game. It's fantastic. How many more events do you have like this planned?
So this is the last one of this season. We will start again we actually just released the date, October 18th.
Okay.
The next series of events. I encourage anyone that wants to be a part of the event, check out our website, ingress.com/events. All of the dates will be listed there, as well as our Suki links so that people can be a part of our event.
Excellent.